Hey y'all, I was about to say Black Ink. This is Empire Season 2, Episode 14. If you want the link to the full episode, you're going to have to hit that like button, and I will put it on my Twitter page. No, I do not believe that you need a Twitter account to go on my Twitter page at Jazz Chapman and get the link. Um, First off, y'all, I want to say rest in peace, Prince. Okay. I did not expect that at all. I didn't even know that he got sick last week. He was actually here in Atlanta last week and performed. But, yeah, rest in peace, y'all. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't until I started singing The Door where it hit me like, I started getting teary eyed a little bit when I started singing. I was like, man, he really gone. So rest in peace. I love Prince, as well as my parents. My mama ain't taking it too well, but it's all right. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, Thirsty took his thirsty ass. What was it? Somewhere in Pennsylvania, I believe, and found what's her name? Lily, the little girl. I believe her name is Lily, the little girl from the first season that Raven ended up telling him that okay, that's Jamal's daughter. So his ex-wife, Jamal's ex-wife's daughter. So he goes up to her and he was like, "Hi, Lily," and he snatched a piece of hair out her head. She was like, "Ow, that hurt!" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to do it." I was like, "Okay, what now? Like, why are y'all bothering this little girl? What we gonna learn now? Like, y'all ain't touched this story in so long. Now y'all want to go ahead and bring it up. All right, so Lucius is at the house, and he having him an good old party, right? Okay, because he's now still a shareholder, but Mimi, and I couldn't remember her name last video. Mimi is now dead. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry about Mimi. May she rest in peace." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you are, huh?" So they bigging his head up like, "Lucius, you should get back in. You should get back on, back in there. We miss you." Whatever. Cookie comes there, and she like, "What the hell you doing here with all these white people?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to basically butter their ass up." Okay, trying to show them. He was showing them his video, the White Walker video, so they could understand him a little more. And they were so impressed with the video. She was like, "Yeah, you up to something. Like, you always up to something." Just like with Frida Gatz. And she was like, matter of fact, should I say Gathers? And he was like, "Well, I mean, what can I say?" And she was like, "You killed her father." And he was like, "Hey, I wasn't nowhere near when her father was killed." So we see that, we learned on the last episode that Lucius was, a little orphan. Okay, or like he says, we can't believe everything that comes out of Lucius' mouth. But, he was homeless for a while. And then this 16-year-old guy by the name of Frank Gathers is the first person that, hooked him up basically. Like he said, saved his life, gave him some drugs to sell so he could make some money and do something for himself. And so that's probably why, he had to kill Frank. Like he said, Frank would have killed you over twice over, Cookie. So I feel like he feels in some way he owes Frank. So that's probably why he has been taking Frida under his wing. So Oh shit. So, anyways, next is Andre and Rhonda and Miss Anika. Okay, so Rhonda and Anika is at the house. Okay, because Rhonda didn't want to go back in that house after that whole blow up of finding out that Andre's grandmother, Leah Walker, is bipolar also, and Lucius has never told him. So she didn't want to go back to the house. Anika allowed her to stay at her place for as long as she liked. And I'm like, what the hell? What are you still up to? You already killed her baby. At least that's what I believe. So she's there, and Andre comes in, and Andre's like, you know what, we can go and take a walk and have a talk. And then Anika's like, no, I'll get out your way. Your house is my home. So, I mean, you know, me kusai miss. Y'all know what I mean. You know, this is your house too. Basically, she's welcoming them in there. So they're talking, and he's like, you know what? The pastor has agreed that I did need my meds recalibrated, and I'm not staying at the church. I've been staying at the hotel because I'm going through some other spiritual things that I don't believe that the pastor will understand. And she was like, so why is that, you know, weirdly comforting for me? And he's like, I don't know, but, you know, I just want us to get back to the place that we have been to, you know, back when we were a teen. And she's like, we weren't, you know, we haven't been at that place for a long time. So he's like, okay, so how can we get back to it? She was like, I don't know. Like, I haven't felt that way, you know, since we've been planning for this family. So, you know, I don't know if we can get back to that. So he's, you know, got to make a decision on how to get back to that. Meanwhile, while they're having this discussion, they hear Anika in the bathroom throwing up. And, you know, Rhonda's like, are you okay with it? You know, is it what you ate? She was like, it's not what I ate. They was like, well, what is it? And she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you because, you know, especially after what happened with y'all, I just can't do it. I was like, so basically you just told them without telling them. Whatever. So Rhonda is like, oh, are you pregnant? And Nika was like, yes, I am. And Andre is like, well, who's the father? And she's like hesitating, and she's, you know, cleaning shit out her mouth. She turns around and was like, Hakeem's the father. And what you gonna do about it, girl? What you gonna do? Okay? I'm just waiting for Andre and Anika, Andre and Rhonda to find them damn shoes that Anika had on in that damn house, so they can realize Anika threw her ass down them stairs. So we'll see about that. The boys end up having a meeting. Sorry, y'all. The boys end up having a meeting, and you know, Andre is like, okay, we need to try to get this together. Now that, you know, Dad is in this position that he's in, he's going to try to come for you. So what is your biggest project that's most important to you? And Hakeem thinks, and he's like, well, I guess it's the some type of event or something that they're supposed to have with Antony and Cleopatra. And he's like, okay, well, Lucius is going to come for that. So Hakeem is pissed. Then he goes to right after that, Thirsty ends up having this truck with a bunch of big ass dudes, and they go into Empire, knock the security guard out, and steal all the Antony and Cleopatra shit out of there. So now Hakeem's pissed because he's like, what are you doing? Like, I know that you stole my stuff out of Antony and Cleopatra. He was like, first of all, Empire is mine's also. So it's my shit too. So what are you talking about? He was like, I know you stole Antony, my things out of Antony and Cleopatra. And you better give it back to, or I'm gonna have to show the police the security cameras. And Lucius is like, you know what? I made a song about you. People like you in jail. You know what it was called? It was called Snitch Bitch. And I was like, for real? So, he was like, and I don't like snitches. And we don't do snitching in this family. And you don't want nothing to happen to you. You might not want to snitch. So then Hakeem's phone is going off. And he's like, you might want to answer that. So Hakeem answers the phone. It's Laura. She was like, we have a problem. Like, we don't have any equipment. He's like, what are you talking about? She's like, we have all our clothing, but we don't have any equipment because the police came and confiscated everything because they found drugs on the truck. And so Hakeem get off the phone like, you planted drugs on the truck? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, Lucius, how you gonna sit there and tell him about snitching, how y'all don't snitch in that family, and then you plant drugs on the truck and call the police? Okay, you real fucked up, Lucius. You would do anything to try to get to the top. As for Jamal, he's in the little hood, the projects with Frida Gatz. Okay, Frida Gatz works at the barbershop I guess her father used to own. And, they cutting hair, and he's playing his music for Frida, and she's rapping, and he's singing, and he's like, yeah, that's what the hook gonna be. And they all like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And so, did I tell y'all about when Cookie came in the house? Oh, I did tell y'all about the Frida Gatz thing. She also told Lucius that she didn't want Frida Gatz, her dangerous ass, around her babies. So anyway, they end up going back to the studio, trying to finish it up, and then playing it, I guess, for all the A&R or whatever, all the board members of Empire. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's great, that's good. And Cookie is feeling it too until she hear Frida come on, and she started looking at her phone, and he's like, okay, what's wrong? She was like, I think it was okay, you could do better. Do you really need to have her on there? He was like, yeah, Mom, like, this is great, I want to knock Lucius down. Right before the ASA Awards comes out, I want to put my CD out so we can really knock him out of there. She's like, oh, okay. So then she comes up with a plan. The next time, decline. Phone call come through. So the next time, she ends up going to the studio, and they're playing Frida, and she was like, okay, so you're really gonna keep Frida on? And he was like, yeah, like, what's your problem with her? And she was like, that's okay, no, you got it all worked out. I just had a little surprise for you. Never mind, go ahead. And he's like, let me go see what's up. So then she ends up telling them that she's got the biggest female MC. They got, they broke the records of 2.3 million streaming downloads in one day. And he's like, oh, is it Stacy Run Run? This is a dumbass name. And she was like, yeah, I got Stacy Run Run. So he's like, oh yeah, that's great, that's dope. He goes out and meet her. It's this very voluptuous young lady with this red hair, big pink outfit on, pink bustier, And she's got her bodyguards and stuff, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's great to meet you. And they end up sitting down, and he was like, okay, so I think, yeah, we're gonna end up moving Frida's verses to, what did he say, 3 and 7. I need to learn more about my music, huh? So her manager's like, I thought we cut that. And Cookie was like, yeah, see, they got this crazy little thing going on. Stacy Run Run got a exclusivity agreement, whereas there cannot be any other female rapper on your album. And he's like, what, Ma? She was like, I know, it's crazy, right? But, I mean, you said you wanted to beat your daddy in the Aces, so here we are. And he's like, so now I gotta choose. Yeah. That was the whole setup that Cookie's trying to protect you. She just being sneaky as hell with it, because she can't tell you that they didn't have Frank Gathers killed. Okay, because Jamal and them don't know anything about that whole Frank Gathers little setup that didn't happen. Anyways, so Jamal ends up going to Frida, and he tells them that Stacy Run got put on there. His mom set that up, and she was like, okay, well, that's great. That's great. It was like, but the thing is, the exclusivity. And she was like, okay, all right. And he was like, but I'm going to work with you after the album's done. I mean, we can still work together. I promise. And she was like, you ain't got to make me no promise. Just do you. And now she feels some type of way about it. Jamal ends up getting the track later from Stacy, and Cookie tells him, oh, she's in Tokyo, she'll be back around the Aces time. He's like, Aces? When is she gonna be back? Like, I mean, I wanted to work with her. And she was like, Jamal, this is what celebrities do, these artists do, they send tracks, okay? Lil Wayne makes all these different types of tracks on People Versus from the comfort of his studio, his tour bus. So he's like, all right, I'm going there and do it. He ends up, he starts off good, and then it drops for him. And then he does it again. He like, I'm going to get it right this time. And he's singing, and he turned around and see the mic next to him empty. And he's like, yeah, I can't do this. This is not how I work. I was like, yeah, I mean, if I was you, I wouldn't have got rid of Frida Gats, because already told her. I know this ain't got nothing to do with business, really, but you already told her how Lucius was going to do her, and then you turn around and do her the same way. So, I mean, what you going to do? So, he ends up going back to the barbershop, Frida cutting, and he's like, I want to work with not Stacy, I want to work with you. And she was like, okay, so Stacy's verse didn't come out right. And he was like, Stacy Run was good, it was good, but I just really want you on it. Like, I want to work with you. And Frida ain't trying to hear it. She like, oh, okay. And he tells her about how he done changed the hook and how it's gonna go, and she ain't feeling it. She ain't saying nothing. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna be at the studio all night. You can come down there. And she's just like, giving him the silent treatment. So, yeah, you might have fucked that one up. Andre and Lucius ends up going to the cemetery, okay? Because obviously Lucius wants something from Andre. So, they go to the cemetery and see Lucius's mother's grave. And he's like, okay, Grandma, I wish I could have met you, and, it would have been great. It would have been nice to know you, but, I got the same problem you have, and we got medicine for people like us. Like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I'm going to do this for you. And Lucius like, yeah, I wish you could have met her. He was like, okay, so what's up, Lucius? What do you really want? He was like, well, I got to want something. I'm just, like, really proud of you. And he's like, no, what's really up? He's like, all right. you see, I'm gonna be back on, I'm back in Empire. Okay, I'm about to get my spot back. And Andre, like, I'm not about to go against my brothers for you. He's like, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you, I need you. Okay? I need your support. Trying to get back to where I was at. Okay? Trying to get us back to where we were at. So, later on, they end up doing that whole shareholders meeting or whatever, or performance, I should say, with all the shareholders of Empire. And Tiana goes on and perform, and it's like she's trying to be a Leah lookalike or something. And it was like 20 seconds long, the song, whatever. So then they bring out Hakeem, and Hakeem's answering questions, and then Lucius come out with questions, and Hakeem is trying to be professional. He's talking, okay, well, what are your questions, Lucius? Let's get out the way before other people's questions need to be answered. And Lucius is like, well, what are the top 5 challenges you expect to be in the music industry over the next 10 years? So Hakeem is standing there. I was like, oh, baby, don't choke up on that. So then he gives some answers about how, CDs will not be able to sell, and, creativity and some other stuff. So he's like, oh, okay. Well, you're talking about these challenges, but what about the challenges with, Antony, what is that? Cleopatra and Antony or whatever, not coming out. He was like, well, I mean, that's a delay. Oh, but what about Swiftstream? Now, Andre then delay the message back to Hakeem that Swiftstream is not going well. The app is not going well. There's going to be some delays about that. What about that? And he was like, see, I know what you're trying to do. And he was like, no. I'm asking a question for Claire here. Claire's a teacher, such and such. Okay? And she helps her students, they have financial problems. And she helps buy them books and give them the things that she needs. But you see, if we got all these delays in Empire and she ain't getting her money, well, Claire cannot give these students the things that they need. And so makes Hakeem look like a straight dumbass. So he's standing there and he's just throwing questions at him. Well, what happened with this? Oh, it was a temporary delay. What happened with this? Another temporary delay? And so Cookie gets up because Hakeem was about to walk off. She's like, no. Let me explain to you this. Lucius is, because they started chanting Lucius, they want Lucius to get back up there as an exec. And, or the CEO, whatever the hell you want to call him. So, Lucius is a legend. He's like, okay, he has built this company. He's been the face of this company. He has definitely done his thing. As for Hakeem is young, but he's also been the one to help me build Lion Dynasty from the ground up. Okay? So he deserves your respect for that too. And yours too, Lucius. And they will both fight for this company. Oh, no, she said kill for this company. She was like, figuratively, of course. Okay? But they will kill for y'all. And instead of fighting each other for this, I feel like they should get up here and work together to kill for y'all in this company. So basically, I guess Hakeem and Lucius is going to be working together. Oh, forgot to mention, at the cemetery, Andre basically said, I want this family to be better people. I want y'all to do better. Everybody in this family needs to do better. So he calls everybody in the house and he's like, I had a talk with Dad and we decided we all need to become better people. And with that being said, I have somebody I want to bring to y'all. And he's like, Rhonda. And then Rhonda comes in and then Nikki comes in. And Cookie like, what this bitch doing here? And he's like, well, we said we were going to be better people, so just hear her out. Hakeem stands up and she was like, I'm pregnant. And Cookie was like, okay, what the hell you doing here? And she was like, okay, well, it's Hakeem's. And they was like, what? Oh my God, how do we know it's Hakeem's? And she was like, Hakeem is the only person that I have been with after Lucius. We gonna need a test. I will be happy to give you a fraternity test. And then Cookie smacked Hakeem upside his head like, boy, you don't know how to use condoms. And he's like, you know what? That's fine. Okay, you pregnant now. What are we gonna do? Are you I'm about to say Jesse. Jamal is like, are you gonna keep it? And Rhonda was like, yeah, I begged her to keep it. And Cookie was like, why the hell you do that? And so, you know, she was like, yes, I'm gonna keep it. And they was like, okay, well, we gonna pay the bitch off. And she was like, I do not want to be paid off. I want my child to have a family. And so, you know, they pissed off. They need a moment to think about that. Well, they need more than a moment. But they need some time to think about the shit. And Nikki goes home and she sees Lucius on her couch. Now, is it me? When did Anika's house get big? Do y'all remember that episode when Hakeem ended up rushing home after he done got beaten and impregnated her? Wasn't her place small? Anyways, so Lucius is on the couch and he was like, so did you think that you was gonna pop up in my house and I wasn't gonna return the favor? And she was like, well, what took you so long? He was like, well, damn, I should have came sooner, huh? And he was like, basically, I want to talk to you about having a baby. Have the baby, give it to Hakeem. We'll give you $10 million, go on about your way. She was like, I don't want your money, Lucius. And he was like, that's a good offer. Nigga, you can't buy people kids for them. What kind of shit is wrong with you? Would you have sold you might have. You might have sold your child for $10 million. You might have sold them for $10,000 had that been back in the day before y'all made it. Anyways, so, you know, she's like, you know, I want to keep my child. I already told you I want my child to have a family. And, you know, he was like, how could you betray me? Like, I could have took you sleeping with Beretti, but my son, my baby. And she was like, betray you? First of all, I never slept with Beretti. And you cheated on me with Cookie. And he was like, you know, I wouldn't have left you for Cookie. And, you know, he was like, so my offer stands what it is. She was like, you know what? I'm going to have to do what I have to do, too. And he was like, what the hell does that mean? She was like, well, I have been living under your roof. I have been working for you for 5 years. Okay, that's enough information that I need. And he was like, oh, okay. Careful, sound like a threat. You know, plenty of pregnant women don't stay alive. I was like, Nikki, baby, you might want to rethink this, okay? So, that was basically it. That was it, y'all. So, like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at JazzShaman. This was a long review. I didn't expect it to be this long, but thanks for watching.